Hey everyone, Coach Joy here with Big Will Coaching during our weekly tips and tricks that hopefully can help you out through your next week of training here. Now, I like to check Twitter sometimes just to see kind of what's going on and keep a pulse on some of the science and training methodology that's out there. Now, most of you have probably heard of Joe Friel, the godfather of endurance coaching and training. And he tweeted yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, he said, highly focused training without frequent recovery breaks has a way of making one less fit. Now, in that comment in the threads there on Twitter, Kristen Armstrong, who's two-time Olympic time trial gold medalist, even at the age of 40 and as a mom, she kind of rocks, commented like, hey, I have the same problem. A lot of times I get professional athletes that I have to spend up to 6 months teaching them what recovery is. Now, many of us are finding that we can train because we don't have any events or we don't have anything to peak for. Now, in a traditional season, there would be lots of peaks and valleys because you have to race, recover, prepare, race, and that cycle goes on and on. So I want you to think maybe your flatness or your lack of freshness isn't coming from a deficit in your power or of your profile. Maybe that's coming from your lack of recovery. Now, recovery doesn't have to be long, maybe a couple days sprinkled in a week, or maybe even a full week if needed. But you've done all of this hard work and you continue to do tons of hard work. A lot of it's on the trainer, and that's pretty volatile. So finding that time to recover and learning to embrace that, then kind of creating that natural ebb and flow that you would have if we were in a traditional race season. It's actually pretty important. So talk to your coach, see if that flatness may be coming from the fact that you need to rest a little bit, and then you have to listen and embrace that the coach is saying, hey, we think we need to dial it back, and if we dial it back just a little bit, that actually opens up for a lot of growth and development in your fitness and your riding and those KOMs and QOMs you've been hunting. Something else that came across my plate this last couple weeks was looking at hydration mixes and the need for, say, more within a long ride, and the fear is that maybe the athlete would run out, and so maybe they've selected to double mix their bottles, and that just created like gut bombs, not feeling good. It's like this sugary, like it's all over your teeth. It's really unenjoyable. So all you want is water. Really heed the advice on the nutrition packets. Okay, whether it's especially gels, stuff like SIS, goo, and then when you're looking at an actual hydration mix. All right, their serving amount is legit. They've done tons of scientific studies, and the amount of scoops per water is something that we want to heed that. All right, we want to stay in line with that, because over mixing the osmolality or the way it's going to get into your system is going to get kind of messed up. All right, so read the boxes or the packages and follow those directions. One idea is to keep some baggies in your pocket with some extra mix, okay, something to do along the way when you're filling up with water. Also, or put some in your saddlebag, or there's some tubes like Noon tablets can come in that little plastic tube, so it's easy to carry. So don't overmix or double mix, and bring some along to refill along the way, because nobody wants to be drinking 7-Eleven Gatorade, okay? Or maybe you do. Now, the last thing we want to look at is that book I talked about last week, The Brave Athlete. I think a lot of you could really enjoy it. Okay, really quick on the back, topics it's looking at is the brain is your best friend and your worst enemy. This really goes hand in hand with that recovery aspect as well, okay? So, kind of some quotes of topics they cover. I wish I felt more like an athlete. I feel fat. Setting goals is not your problem. Other athletes seem tougher, happier, and more badass than me. I don't like leaving my comfort zone. I don't handle pressure well. I keep screwing up. When the going gets tough, the tough leave me behind. So these are some really good ways to explore your athleticism in the brain. Okay, it talks about the chimp versus the professor, and there's worksheets in here and stuff that you can kind of work through and maybe get to the bottom of some of the things that are holding you back. And Brian and I would love to talk to you about that. Be like, hey, I kind of found this issue I'm having, and it gives you tools to troubleshoot it so that you can like really have some success setting yourself up for, even if it's like a threshold test or going to the group ride. All right, so I'm going to put in the notes a link to this book. Okay, it's The Brave Athlete, and there's printed by VeloPress. So hope you have a great week, and we can't wait to see you guys out on the road here soon, hopefully.